Hi, I still don't have a formal intro. Today we're going to be looking at a channel called the Game Playbook. Because about 2 weeks ago, I got a video suggested to me titled, "She said yes, ... and it's worse than a no." And I just had to understand what that was all about because the guy in the thumbnail looks like he's crashing out.
Listen, you cross-ages cheapskate! Squidward's been living at my house driving me crazy, and you're not gonna hire him back all because of a stupid dime!
So before I sat down to record this, I took a very quick look at the channel itself, and it's a channel run by some fucking guy. I don't know. His channel description says these videos are a part of his 2025 playbook, which he has been developing since September of 2024. It also says he studied, quote, the game, taken 2 dating classes, read over 85 books on everything from pickup to seduction skills and everything in between. And he's here to show you, through practical plays, how to develop that game and make it work for you in the real world. And I read that and I'm like, brother, what world do you think we're living in? Roblox? Ooh! Now, my issue with this is not that he's being vulnerable and making content about wanting a genuine human connection with someone. It's more that the genuine human connection is seen as a game to be won, rather than just a part of life that he wants to experience, which is my problem with a lot of pickup artist content. It makes it seem like women are these things that you collect and just stick on top of a shelf and go, ah, that one, I remember that one. Oh yeah, that one too, September of '87, I remember that one. You know, and it's just very gross and weird, and the fact that I saw this, and when I saw it, it only had 13 views, I was like, is this guy worse? Let's see.
Okay, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Game Playbook. Today is going to be a fun topic. The worst she can say is not no. The worst she can say is yes.
Then what's the fucking point? What's the point? Okay, he's not even into it and I'm already mad. Let's just 15 seconds and I'm already relax.
And I'll tell you why in this video. So basically, to give you some context, if you've been following the channel and the story about the one girl who was great over at the bank teller, I went back, right? I asked her out. I was like, hey, one more thing.
I hate these things where they go to like a customer service person and they ask them out because like customer service people are, one, paid to be nice to you, and two, they're not allowed to leave that interaction unless you are like physically aggressive with them, and even then they still might get in trouble for telling you no or telling you to get fucked. It just feels like a very weird position to be putting someone in to ask them out, because they're not really, they are trapped by the social convention to be like, oh, haha, yeah, that's funny, or something like that, because in many cases people are working customer service jobs just to survive. You getting weird about that and being like, oh, you are contractually obligated by the social contract to be nice to me in this interaction and like talk to me and respond positively to me, I'm not a fan. I don't like that.
If you're free, I'd love to take you to get some coffee sometime. And she was like, oh yeah, let's do it. Cool. She seemed enthusiastic about it. Sounded like a yes to me. And so I gave her my card, gave her my number, because I know like them giving a customer like from the bank like their number, personal information, get a little bit shady.
I have never gone to a bank and asked for someone's card and then they gave me their personal phone number. That doesn't happen. They give you the bank's phone number and their extension. The fact that he's saying it's a little bit shady too is just like, they've never given you their personal phone number. And even if they say it's their personal phone number, it's like their work phone. It's
Here's my card. So that happened, and that was about 30 hours ago.
Why is he counting the hours since he has asked this woman out? That's not even, that's like a day. He could have just said a day. Why is he doing it in hours? That's fucking weird.
Radio silence. I got nothing out here. Now, it is possible that, you give it 2 or 3 days. Maybe, it sounded like she worked like full time at the bank. So it could be she like doesn't want to in the morning because she's rushed, which I get that. She doesn't want to on her lunch break because you want to focus on lunch and letting your mind reset, which I get too. I mean, I work a job too. Totally get it. So there's only been one night so far.
What I think he's not saying there is the but dot dot dot, because I think what he is not saying, he's thinking it, he's not saying it, is that he's like, yeah, I get it, but she should have responded to me anyway. She should have called me anyway. She should have texted me anyway. And it's like, if you understand that a full time job is going to take a significant chunk of time out of your day to socialize, and you're still like, well, I get it, but I'm still not happy about it, and I'm gonna make a whole video about it. Meh. It's shitty. Just shitty.
So I'll give it till it is Thursday afternoon around 1:30 right now. I'll give it until Friday night, 12 a.m., midnight, right?
Why is he giving her till midnight like this is a hostage negotiation?
We will raise your planet's temperature by 1 million degrees a day for 5 days, unless we see McNeil at 9 p.m. tomorrow, 8 Central.
Like, with the way that he's talking, like, his expectation of this woman to just instantly be like, take me here, do this then, and that's too much. He's doing too much.
I'm not giving up yet. But at the same time, percentages are going down. Odds are going down. I don't know. Maybe her phone died last night. Maybe she was too busy last night. Maybe she figured, I'll text him tomorrow.
Yeah, like a normal person does. That's just a normal human interaction. For him to be presenting it as though that's abnormal is, I don't know what's going on in his head. Hamster jumped off the wheel for a minute there.
Moving on. I give it, a 75-hour rule. If you get her number, 15. If you ask for her number and she gives it to you, I would say the sooner the better, but no later than 15. But if you give your number to her, I would say 75.
75 and 15 out of what? Like, what math is he doing in his head that these numbers are coming out and he's like, yeah, it's 75. Yeah, it's 15. Yeah, it's 20. Is he just coming up with numbers like they call football plays? Like, what's happening?
What's that?
Also, why is he using math to talk about like a normal human interaction? That's objectively not normal. I'm sorry. It's just not.
Well, 25. 25 and 75. Yep, I'll go with that. So, based on the 75, it's been about 30. So, I mean, there's still some time.
He's just saying numbers now. 75 and 25 out of what? I know that's it adds up to 100, but I mean, like, what is the scale of like how odds and percentages are going up and down? And I need to know if he has an Excel spreadsheet where he's mapping all of these equations. I need to see it in front of me, and even then I'm probably still not going to understand what the fuck he's saying.
Game's not over yet. And she did say yes. She did sound enthusiastic about it. So that's the context, right? Now into the bulk of the video. It's not the first time it's happened where I'll ask a girl out and she'll be like, all right, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, we should go grab some coffee. She'll be like, all right, that's cool.
Why did he just slip into a black scent there? I don't like that. That was weird.
And then I text her and then she's like, sorry, actually I'm like too busy to go grab coffee. I'm like, you too busy to spend 1 hour with, bro, people way overcomplicate, like, bro, just getting something.
He is saying they're overcomplicating things when he's out here talking about percentages and odds and ratios of a normal human interaction. Be so fucking serious right now, dude. Be so fucking serious right now.
It does not have to be a long time. It does not have to be a whole event. You can just go out, get a drink, talk for a little bit, and then go on your way. It's literally less commitment than a credit card, man. Like, if you're too busy to go out, then your mental health probably isn't doing that well.
Dead ass?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really.
Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. I ain't taking that from you. Shut the fuck up.
Or they're just making up excuses. But like, here's the thing. I would much rather take a rejection, because if they say, no, I'm not interested, or no, I got a boyfriend, or nah, I'm too busy. Even if they say I'm too busy, I'll take that as a hint, as a no, right? And then I'm like, great, cross them off. Boom, done.
See, this is the thing that I'm talking about when they say something like, oh, it's all about the game, it's all about plays, it's all about strats, you know? Like, when you view human interactions as a win-lose thing, what is the thing that you win? You know what I mean? Like, his channel description says, like, oh, I want a girlfriend. Like, is it because you view women as objects that you can collect and use for your satisfaction, or is it because you actually want a fulfilling human connection with somebody? Because, like, when I think about what I want out of a relationship, I think, like, I want a long-term partner who cares about me, who makes me feel satisfied and fulfilled, and eventually I want to marry that person. I want to have a family with them. I don't go, I want a boyfriend, or I want a girlfriend. Or, like, I want a husband. I want a wife.
Whoa, he's bisexual. I didn't know that.
By the way, I'm bisexual.
I think about, like, I want a relationship. I want a family. I want something fulfilling and satisfying that's going to make me happy. And the way that he's talking about it is very much like, maybe he's not saying it and he's thinking it, but I mean, like, it's so fucking strange to look at human interactions like that. It's so weird. But also, for him to turn around and say something like, you know, well, I'd rather her just say no, I'd rather her just reject me, I'd rather just this, I'd rather just that. I have seen so many of these pickup artist people, like Alpha Dom, or like those guys who like borderline harass women walking down the street in any given context. Like, so many of them, like, a woman will tell them no, or like, I don't want to talk to you, I have a boyfriend, I'm married, I'm not interested, I'm blah 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 blah, and they will continue to pester them and be like, you know, no, you're not married, no, you don't have a boyfriend, no, you're lying, you know, just give me your number, just give me your number.
You do not have to accept her rejection.
Ew! Because when you look at all of these interactions and it's like, you know, well, I'd rather just them say no. I'd rather them say no. Most of the time, from what I've seen, they're not going to take no as an answer either. They pretty much only want you to say yes. And when they want you to say yes, it's on their terms. So, like, even the fact that he's making a whole video about the fact that, like, oh, he talked to this woman on, I don't know, Tuesday, Wednesday, and he's like, it's Thursday, and she hasn't given me a text or a call, so that means that she doesn't want anything to do with me. Like, the fact that he is making it, like, such a dire situation that this woman text him and make plans with him is so odd. You know, it's very much like, you know, you need to talk to me on my terms. I don't have to comply to your terms. I don't have to bend to your schedule and blah, 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 blah. Because, like, look at it this way. This is a 9-to-5 job that you're working Monday to Friday, probably, right? And so on the weekend, you have from Friday, I'm going to say, like, 5:30 to, I don't know, 9:30 Sunday night. You have, like, almost 3 whole days to, like, work out something, plan something, go somewhere, do something. The fact that he's like, well, you haven't texted me back in exactly 30 hours, and therefore that means that I don't want anything to do with you because you clearly don't want to talk to me, that is a whole other level of pressure. That is like, you're not communicating anything you want to this person. You're pretty much just putting the onus of communication on them, but then getting mad at them when they don't understand this expectation you've put on them. Very weird.
But whatever this is, this new theme the girls are doing, where a guy will ask him out and they'll say yeah, but when they really want to say is no, and they won't tell him that until like after he's it might be just a safety thing. But even then, just hey, got a dude, man. Hey, I got him, man.
The fact that he's acknowledging that there is an element of this interaction where this woman is like, I'm going to say yes so that I get out of this interaction uninjured and alive. And then he's like, you know, well, I guess it's a safety thing, but still, you know, like, that's fucking weird. That's weird. I'm sorry. Because, like, if you're acknowledging that there is an issue among interactions between men and women where women will feel unsafe in an interaction and will say pretty much anything just to get out of it in order to make sure that, like, they get home alive that night. And then you're still brushing it off and being like, you know, but what about me? What about my feelings? What about my chances with a girl? You know, that's... Be so fucking serious, dude.
Apparently there's this thing, this stigma these days that if a girl accepts a date from a guy, he's gonna kill her. Like, I don't know.
Huh?
No way.
What did I just say? What did I just say? He's literally waving it off and going, you know, oh my god. Bitchless behavior. Maidenless behavior.
But then again, I don't have a female psychology, so I can't really speak for them.
When he says he is an adult man, he is not only referring to other adult women as girls, but he is referring to them as females. Ick. Ick, ick.
It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
You don't make a lot of sense to me, you weird ass bitch.
In the Pacific Northwest, I mean, if you were in, like, you know, some sketchy city like Detroit, I'd get it. New York, I'd get it.
Is he being racist right now? Is he being racist right now? He's naming specific cities like Detroit and New York, and then he's being like, well, that's way more dangerous than the Pacific Northwest. That's way more dangerous than the Pacific Northwest. That just feels really weirdly, like, heavily coded anti-black, right? Because, like, if he were to say something like, you know, oh, you live in a city, you know, if he were to say something like the next biggest city where he lives, you know, because I'm assuming that he doesn't live in a city, like a city atmosphere. He lives in, like, maybe the suburbs or, like, a more maybe rural place in the Pacific Northwest. But also, the Pacific Northwest has cities. There's Seattle, there's Portland, there's Salem, there's Oregon City. There's all of these big cities that bad things happen to people in. Like, that doesn't... I can't exactly put my finger on it, but that felt racially coded to me.
I live, like, in a pretty safe state, bro. I don't think you really need to be worried about doing something dumb.
The fact that he's acknowledging that there are instances in which women will feel unsafe when they're entering into an interaction with a man, and then he's laughing at it and cracking jokes about it is gross. That is so gross. Ew! Like, I had misgivings about talking about this video because this guy only has 9 subscribers, and this video, when I saw it, only had maybe like 7 views. That's so gross. I'm sorry. I no longer have misgivings about you because you're fucking gross. But also what he's doing is he's creating a straw man of what women are and saying like, oh, all women feel this way about all men. This is something that I'm noticing a lot of pickup artists do, where they will set up women as a straw man figure, and then they set their audience up for failure by saying like, oh, this is the way that every single woman you interact with will respond to you. This is the way that they see you. This is the way that they look at you. So I'm gonna give you 1, 2, 3 steps in order to like approach this interaction and overcome that straw man and get her to bend to your whims. It's just very weird because I feel like when you create these circumstances under which men expect to be rejected or expect to be treated a certain way, that when you give them really shitty steps to follow, as this guy's doing right here, which is like, oh, if she's concerned about her safety, fucking laugh in her face. It's just setting people up for failure, and I think that it ensures that people will come back to his channel and come back to his content and then continue to be like, okay, well, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Because this person didn't respond to me positively. This person rejected me. This person did this. I did everything to the T, and I'm still not successful like this guy is. So, like, I need to know what I did wrong by going back to his channel and continuing to watch, and it's just... Ugh. Because you know that the minute that this guy gets a significant following, he's going to start selling courses, he's going to start selling Patreon content, he's going to start doing all of that shit, and it's just like... It's scummy. It's so scummy.
Dumb thing you're doing is just stringing the dude on. So if you ain't interested, just say no. For any of the viewers out there, if you ain't interested, just say no.
Yeah, I think I will do that if I ever catch you in the street. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do.
So I looked into it, and there's basically like 3 main reasons why this is, but there was one phenomenon that I was really interested in, that I was getting really into.
Okay, so first he's telling us that there are three main things that he has narrowed this down to, and he's saying, but first, a phenomenon, which is annoying. It's so annoying. I mean, like, even outside of, like, specific pickup artist content, like, even if I'm watching, like, an ad or something, or I'm watching sponsored content somewhere, the fact that they won't just get to the meat of it at the beginning, or, like, just go right into it is so fucking frustrating. Like, ugh!
And it is called Zygarnik phenomenon, or effect. And basically what this means is that your brain has a much harder time of letting go of unfinished tasks or things that have been started but have not finished yet.
This man clearly has never met anyone with ADHD, because, like, I will start a task and then I will set it aside and I'll be like, cool, I'll finish that tomorrow. And then I'll get up, I'll do other stuff, and then I will sit down and I'll be like, where was that task? I wasn't doing anything yesterday. Cool, I'll start another one.
And in application to this, it wasn't a no. And so the task is not finished because she said it was a yes. So half of me is like planning for a date this weekend. And the other half of me is, planning for the next cold approach session.
So, like, why doesn't he take his own advice and understand that maybe this lady did say no to him? Just say, take the L and get on with your day, man. Why is it that it's women who have to turn around and say, like, oh, no, I don't want to talk to you, and then get on with their day? Why is it that you are allowed to sit here and stew in your hurt feelings, but nobody else is? That's weird. Double standard. That's weird.
It's just moving on. It's still too early to say. I mean, if she would have just said no, I could have just moved on with my life. It would have been easy. I would have been like, well, at least I tried.
See, this is the other thing too, right? Is that she's like, well, clearly this is a no because she didn't do X, Y, and Z. So I'm just gonna move on with my day. But then later in the video at 7:35, he's saying like, well, I can't move on with my day because she didn't outright tell me no. And it's like, what are you mad about? Like, what are you actually frustrated with? Is it the fact that you can't move on with your day, or the fact that this person didn't outright tell you no? Like, this is so weird, and I'm never gonna understand this about pickup artist content or like people who feel entitled to other people's attention. It just feels very strange because it's like there's something deeper going on, that like you're mad about this and then you're saying you're mad about this, but then you're also mad about this, and like it's fine for you to be mad at two things, but don't like spit on my cupcake and call it frosting. Don't say that you're actually mad about this person not giving you a no when in reality you're mad. Drop my thing. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Don't like put the onus of communication on her and be mad at her when really you're mad at yourself because you can't move on. But also clearly you have not moved on with your day, and you are not able to let this go because you've made a 15-minute video talking about how frustrated and pissed you are at this woman for not communicating in a way that you subconsciously wanted her to, without communicating that you wanted her to tell you a certain thing in a certain time frame.
In the Game Playbook Volume 1.2 was called the 100% Express Interest Rate. Basically, if there's somebody that you want to ask out, you do everything that you can on your end to put that into effect, to start the ball rolling. Which is what I did. I hit him with a 1-2 punch. I went in the day before, took care of business, went in the next day, took care of business, and then asked her out in a calm, simple way. And she said yes. And so, I did everything that I could have. My appearance may not have been like the greatest, but then again, it was like in the morning. I don't think anybody's appearance is that great.
See, now he's starting to make concessions and say, oh, well, I didn't look my best. Oh, well, I didn't do this. Oh, well, I didn't do that. And now I'm wondering how exactly he asked her out. Like, what did he say? What did he look like? What was he doing? Because when you say something authoritatively where you're like, I was calm and I was collected and I was polite, but then you start making concessions, it's like, I'm beginning not to believe that first thing you said.
Harry's Car Place.
I don't trust like that.
The second half is, even if it wasn't that great, then like, would I really want to be going out with someone who's like, not, he wasn't wearing this specific outfit at this specific time. I ain't going out with him. Bro, that sounds like a control freak, bro.
What gold is she digging, sir? You don't drive a luxury car. You don't live in a luxury house. You're not even wearing luxury clothing. What gold is she digging? Be so fucking serious with yourself, dude. I'm never gonna understand that. Like, I've seen so many men on dating apps be like, I want to carry on a legacy. I want to build something. I want to do this. I want to do that. And it's like, you're not a Fortune 500 CEO. You're not like, building, you're not Tony Stark. You're not any of that. You're just Kevin. And it's fine for you to just be Kevin. Like, I don't think a majority of people want somebody who's gonna be like, I want to build, I want to make an empire, a kingdom, I want this, I want that. A majority of people don't want that, right? But also, you're admitting that your appearance may not have been the best first thing in the morning. Why is it that, like, you're saying that she should have settled for the way that you looked first thing in the morning, when you're admitting to yourself that you did not look your best? That's fucking weird.
Could have been financial. I mean, she knew how much I made. But at the same time, if she had a problem with that, then she's probably like a gold digger or something. I don't need that.
Again, what gold is she digging, brother? What gold is she digging? If you were really serious about this shit and you were like, look at all this money that I make and look at how, look at all this money in my account, look at how much money I make, why are you recording on your phone in your car and not even bothering to check the exposure of the light behind you? I have a feeling that if you had all that money, you'd invest in recording and sound equipment as well as an editing suite, maybe a formal editor that you could hire so that your content doesn't look like you're like crashing out on FaceTime with your friends.
It's like, you only make this amount of money? Nah, it ain't gonna happen. I'm like, okay. It's like a pre-built vet. I mean, whatever it is, man. Maybe I dodged a bullet. Maybe I did.
Copium. That's copium. That's pure copium. This entire video, he's talking about how, he's already putting on this woman, like, oh, she didn't like the way I was dressed. She wanted me to dress some other way. She didn't like how much money I made. She wanted me to make more money. She didn't like this, so she should have just told me no. She didn't like this, so she just told me no. He has only spoken to this woman once, and he's already assuming that she's a gold digger. She has unfair expectations. She has this, that, and the third. And he's like, well, I dodged a bullet based on that imaginary construction of this woman I made in my mind. Like, brother, maybe this is the reason why you struggle. This is maidenless behavior right here.
It's a pretty attractive bullet, though. But, bullet dodged is another day lived, another opportunity given later down the line.
Why is he making us seem so dramatic? This is not a war zone. This is just socializing with people. This is not fucking... You are not dodging bullets. This is just you socializing with people in your community that you want to get to know. Oh my god.
But it's spring break, so the campus is just deserted.
Why does he care about what college students are doing? How old is he? I'm concerned.
I'm not getting the opportunities I am. They just flaking. But, there's a couple other reasons if she doesn't get back to me. That's probably a good thing that she never does, because she said yes when she wanted to say no, which could lead to a mixed communication.
I'm gonna be real. All of that stuff I said before about, you got all that money in your bank account, you want to show that off. Maybe invest in a stabilizer for your phone, because this, it's like you're recording while you're driving down a dirt road. It's not good.
Would just be a headache, It's like, are you free this day? She said yes, but what she actually meant was, nah, I ain't free that day. Like, bro, come on, man. You gotta work with me. I'm trying to work with you here. You gotta work with me here, man.
If he only talked to her once, I don't think he's actually trying to work with her. I think that he expected her to clear her schedule for him, and the fact that she didn't makes him mad. And he's trying not to seem too mad, but he's a little tilted.
Guess a lack of effort, too. I mean, I gave her my number. If you can't even put in the effort to text a number, hey, it's so-and-so from X, how you doing? Bro, if you can't even send a text, then I don't want you in my life at all.
Your videos look like this and you're talking about a lack of effort? Okay.
Now, what could I have done better? Could I have done anything better?
If nothing else, in that interaction, because I mean, he doesn't have video footage of them talking, I'm gonna say that you could have done better by one, not crafting a straw man for you to dump all of your hurt feelings onto. Number two, to present to your audience as though this is what all women are and this is how all women behave, because that's just not true. Number three, you could stop being so flippant about the fact that maybe she didn't feel too safe talking to you. Because from the vibe of it, it sounds like this might be the reason why women don't want to talk to you. You take their safety as a joke. Number four, just the general production value of this video. This is the thing that really gets me about a lot of these pickup artists is why are they recording videos in their cars? I don't give a fuck about what the inside of your car looks like. You know, like sit in an office like I sit in. Is my office absolutely clean? No. But I mean, like, am I sitting inside of my fucking car recording on my phone? No. I'm sorry, I have a background in video editing and like video production and shit like that, and when I see people like this talk about like, oh, there's no effort, when this is the lowest effort content he could possibly be making, I'm tilted.
I could have put a little bit more work into my appearance on the second run, because the first run, I was great, chilling, rocking. Second one was a little bit more casual. Maybe if I went in like with a little bit more like flair, not like too much, but just a little bit, maybe that would have helped. And secondly, that's what I should have done, man. I should have made her commit on the clothes, because she was already enthusiastic. She already said yeah. So if I had just like given her just a little bit more commitment on the clothes, I think I would have ended up in a much better position.
He doesn't know that though. Like, he's making that assumption based on a construction of this woman that he's made in his mind after only speaking to her like what, twice? Like, again, I've talked about this before. There's a content creator that I like. He wears a lot of fancy shit in his formal videos, right? But when he's like just shooting the shit on Twitch stream, it's usually like, oh, I'm in like what are those called? I call them thermals with that sort of waffle knit sort of texture on them. Or like a t-shirt and like sweatpants or something. But like, I have never thought like, this guy who works an 8 to 12 hour job every single day should dress up on stream for me specifically. I've never had that thought. Because like, he always looks put together, he always looks clean, he always looks like, you know, just a normal person, and I feel like the fact that he is fixating so much on his appearance and what this person may or may not have thought of his appearance speaks to like a really deep insecurity about his appearance, which is like, that's fine, you can be insecure all you want, everybody is about something, but I mean, like, when you are taking that insecurity and externalizing it onto somebody else and making it their problem, that's a different story.
Got a little bit of work to do on the clothes. I want to get back out there, man, because it's a fun time, you know. It was a good rush. I'll give it that. It was a really good rush to find, to my surprise, when she said yeah.
See, like, he's treating this like a rush. It's like a game. It's like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, run for the 50-yard line or whatever the fuck. Do I look like I know anything about football? It's so bizarre to me that this is the way that men view interacting with women when they want to date them, because, like, I have never viewed, when I want to date somebody, I have never viewed that interaction as like a game. I have to win. I have to, you know, I'm making moves and strategies and all of this shit. Like, I've never seen it that way. And it's like this bizarre complex, I guess, because like when you win, what do you win? It's like, you know, is this woman a tool through which you get all of this validation from other men? Is it a tool for you to get validation for yourself? Are you going to, you know, like, how is it that you're viewing this woman in relation to yourself? Is this like her life has to be all about you and your life doesn't have to be about her? Once you win and you stop feeling that rush, you stop feeling that high, that adrenaline, do you stop wanting to be in a relationship with this woman? Do you stop wanting to date this woman? Like, I don't know. It's a mindset that I have no interest in getting anywhere near. I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
But if she was like genuinely interested, she would have used the number and would have been like, hey, this is so and so. So like, I could have done better, she could have done better, and now I'm here making a video.
How could she have done better when better is a standard that you have set for her? I don't know. I think that as much as pickup artists and men on the internet talk about the standards that women have for men, men have an entirely different set of standards for women that don't even function in the same level of reality as women have for men, because like so many of the standards that they believe that women have set for men are like patriarchal standards, right? And that's a deeper issue with the institution of patriarchy. It has less to do with like what each individual person says to you and more about the fact that patriarchal culture, at least in the United States, is so inset that like, oh, when you are a girl, you are raised to believe that like, oh, you should, go after a man with this job, who makes this much money, who looks like this, who talks like this, who dresses like this. And a lot of these men don't really want to acknowledge that. They want all of the benefits of patriarchy, but they don't really want to deconstruct all of the undue burdens that it puts on them. Because like he's insecure about his appearance, that much is clear. And he's like, well, I could have done better, but she could have done better too. I think this is a weird problem that Bell Hooks addresses in The Will to Change, which is that if you are a man and you are unhappy with the way that women are treating you based on a patriarchal standard, you have to understand that that is a patriarchal standard and it is not every individual woman coming together to bully you specifically. You know what I mean?
Closure. It'd be nice to have it. A lot of girls don't like to give it. No, sir. They just like to string you along. Even if they did respond, it would take another day just to get a yes or a no on if this place and time works. They don't like to text, which is weird because they spend a lot of time on their phones. Or so.
He is invoking it's because they be on that damn phone, which is crazy given the fact that he looks to be under 50. Because, like, who the fuck cares? Why is it any of your business what anyone's doing on their phone? You don't own this person. You don't own other people. You have no entitlement to what the fuck they're doing on their phone or in their free time. Fuck off!
Still got a lot more ground to cover. It was a cool one-off, though. It was a one-off. But it just sucks. I felt like we really connected. Then again, it could have been like that scene at Night at the Museum. Up here. Check it out.
Debbie? Can I call you Debbie? Because, I felt a connection when I entered this office, and I don't know, I feel like you did too.
I didn't feel a connection.
Yeah, maybe she didn't feel a connection. She was at work. Maybe she was just putting on the front, I get it. When I'm at work, I got to put on a front too.
Oh my god, no way!
What did I say before? That when people in customer service are kind of forced to be nice to you through social convention and the expectation of their job, he is taking that and being like, oh, well, I got feelings for you because you were nice to me. Therefore, you have to have feelings for me because I have feelings for you. That's, People in customer service are required to be nice to you. They're required to be polite to you. They're required to make conversation in order to just keep things going, okay? They are not required to return whatever feelings you catch based on those interactions, okay? Because that's their job, is to be nice to you, whether they're a bank teller or a server or any other sort of customer service person, okay? And the fact that this person did not return the feelings you caught because they were nice to you is not their problem, okay? Let's just get one thing straight.
And still everybody closes in that sweet 2 to 4 p.m. hours time slot. And then I'm just having fun cooking it with my bros up there in the kitchen, man. That's what's up.
Why does he keep slipping into a black scent? Why does he keep slipping into a black scent? I need to know. He wants to make racially charged comments about Detroit and New York, but he's still slipping into a black scent? That's fucking weird.
Like, makes the food, throwing it down, cracking jokes. That's a good time. Right after the lunch rush, right before the dinner rush, man, that's a good time.
Also, if you just want to be hanging out with your bros all the time, just go hang out with your bros all the time. Just date a fucking man, dude. Fuck. If women are giving you such a fucking issue and you want to be with your bros all the time, just be with your fucking bros. Marry one of your bros. Have a boyfriend. Stop bothering women when you clearly just want to date a man.
But in the lunch rush, man, it's just, hi, how you doing today? With that fake smile, you know what I'm saying? But, so it could have just been that. Maybe she's just a really good people person, and I just fell for it.
See, and that's the other thing too, is that like, just because somebody is friendly does not mean that they're manipulating you. That is you projecting your feelings of being manipulated and manipulating other people onto this person. Oh my god.
But if the 75 hours does hit and she still hasn't reached out, then I'll tally that onto the rejection count. You know, I said on that video about the rejection count that cashiers wouldn't count. But I mean, I meant that in more of a way like just don't go store spamming and just go up. Hey, I'm not actually buying anything here. I just want to ask you out real quick. Like, who's doing cold approaches to a bunch of cashiers? This is different. I actually like needed to go to the bank for legit reasons, and she was the teller there. And so like I had no intention of like her. I just needed to make a withdrawal, man.
He just said, don't go spamming cashiers, but a bank teller is effectively just a fancy cashier. Like, this is the thing that I said earlier. He's saying all of these authoritative statements, and then he's like drawing it back and drawing it back and drawing it back, and being like, well, no, that's an exception. No, that's an exception. I was just doing this. I was just doing that. This is a very unreliable narrator, sir, in your own videos.
That was all I was doing. I didn't plan on going down this whole road that I am on today and yesterday and tomorrow. But I'll keep you updated.
What road? What road is he talking about? This is not the fucking hero's journey. This is just you dating. Oh my god. Alright, I've had about enough of that. I am constantly amazed by pickup artist content, even if it's like smaller guys like this, because it's like so many of the things that they say, I feel like they don't hear themselves, and I feel like they're not self-aware enough to understand that maybe laughing off women's safety, making racially charged comments, and talking about how much better it is to hang out with men than it is to hang out with women, I feel like they don't understand that that's the reason why people are kind of put off when they try to pick them up, because they can feel all of those things when you talk to them. It comes through in the way that you say shit. Like, when he turns around and he's like, you know, oh, all women do is manipulate. All they do is, you know, dig for gold. All they do is this, that, and the third. And then he's like, but the boys, you know, the boys this and the boys that. Like, dude. And again, I want to make it clear, I'm not dunking on him for being vulnerable. I'm not dunking on him for, like, expressing emotion or hurt feelings. I'm dunking on him because it is so clearly, like, he feels entitled to this woman's attention. He feels entitled to this woman's time. He feels entitled to information and entitled to being told yes. When in reality, you're having an interaction with somebody, you're not entitled to a yes. You're not entitled to that person's time. You're not entitled to that person's attention. All you are going through this interaction with is like, hey, can we talk? No? Cool. Bye. You know, that's all it could have been. You didn't have to make a 15-minute video talking about how this cashier manipulated you by, like, being nice to you and doing her job. That's fucking weird. Anyway, that's that guy. Maybe he makes more videos that I look at, maybe he doesn't. I don't know, but I've had about enough of this one. Thank you for joining me for this man's 15-minute crash out. Maybe drop a like, a comment, and subscribe. If you do, that would be cool. If not, I'll see you next time. Stay tuned for tomorrow when it'll be tomorrow. Bye.